Okay, so let's go in other media.
Alright, I'll let you start off, as
Okay.
usual.
I'll get to the Super Bowl eventually, but I mean, I'll start with the usual, which was Hunter x Hunter rewatch
Gaming?
and Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Ooh. How do you, well, don't forget, remember, you gotta specify Hunter x Hunter 2011.
People understand by now. Nobody watches the old version anymore.
Well,
It's just that much better.
hey, you gotta... You can't assume that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's people out there who still watch the 4Kids dub of One Piece.
If it's, like, it's hardly even available anymore. What I was saying was, it's not like as available. The old version, the 2011 version, is like not even comparable to the Brotherhood, because like most people who were fans of the manga of Hunter x Hunter for the longest time didn't like the anime because they felt it didn't really portray the story that well, and they stopped at a certain point. They stopped after I think 2 or 3 arcs with like a couple of OVAs.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm doing the full rewatch here. I'm on like episode 76 or 77, which is far.
Well, I understand it, but I'm just saying is that you can't. I mean, there's a lot of weird fans out there for the animes. You know, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if there are people out there who still watch the 4Kids dub of One Piece.
If they can get their hands on it, which is very hard, but yes.
No, they still sell that stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
And I freaking see it in. I've seen it a couple sold. I see it on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got to be limited, since you know.
And I'm pretty sure they can. There's a weird pirated site out there that has the episode.
Yeah, maybe.
For some stupid reason, if you look hard enough.
Yeah.
But no one looks hard. But the thing is that it's easy for it to happen because no one looks for it.
Yeah. But anyway, they're doing.
So I'm sure if you actually look for it, you.
Yeah, been doing the rewatch.
So if you.
Yeah.
Any other anime besides the weeklies?
Nah, I've just been doing the rewatch.
How about gaming?
Pretty much just Ultra Street Fighter 4. Getting pissed off and then getting happy and then getting pissed off and then getting happy, depending on the day and the lag and the lack of lag and depending on the people I face and shit like that. That's pretty much it. I mean, besides.
Well, don't forget you're streaming.
There. Relax. You're
I know.
getting ahead of me, man. Right, I think. Okay, I finished Sacred Stones since last week, and then started Path of Radiance up to part 4. I still have to cut and upload them, but it won't take me long. Those will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do. I was initially planning Ace Attorney, but then I started having second thoughts. I'm like, do I really wanna? And I don't really think I want to. So I know it's like tomorrow soon, and so I have to think. I might just do another NBA 2K tomorrow, and then just while I'm thinking, if I can't think of anything.
Is there any other games that you can play to kill time that work?
Possibly. Sure. But I might do another simulation for NBA 2K because I'm not gonna play that game. I get too frustrated with that game because of the bullshit. But watching it was pretty fun, especially watching
and commentating.
Oh my gosh.
Well, especially since you were able to comment on it.
Oh my gosh.
As an outside viewer, as opposed to cursing the game out for the bullshit.
Guys, I'm gonna plug it because if any of you guys are fans of either or both of Kuroko no Basket or Slam Dunk, I did a simulation in NBA 2K of the two teams, well, not two teams, obviously Generation of Miracles versus basically an All-Stars team from Slam Dunk. And if you look at the title of part 1, it's this hilarious ending. And it's the second time that game has got me crying on stream from laughing. The second time. And it's the only game that's done that while I was streaming, mind you. And this time I had a face cam, so you can just see me go nuts. I'm laughing my ass off.
I didn't see that part. I'm gonna have to actually go back and watch that now.
When we're done with the stream, I'm going to link you to the time, and I've gone back like 50 times and rewatched it, just watch my reaction and laugh at it because it was so fucking funny because of the context and everything that happened. But regardless, go watch that.
Yeah.
I might play that.
Anything else that you've done? Anything else you've done in terms of other media?
I guess
before we move on to our talk about the Super Bowl.
No, I think it's time for the Super Bowl.
Okay. First of all, just in case you guys were wondering, I didn't care who won, and Strider was rooting for the Patriots. So Strider was happy.
I was very, very happy.
Especially since there was a good portion of the second half where we thought they were going to lose.
When I knew I was sitting there, very somber, because the end of the game looked bad for the Pats. And when that interception hit, I stood up so quickly, looking at the TV did that just fucking happen? I was so flabbergasted because for those of you who are Pats fans, you guys understand the pain of another miraculous catch that could have potentially led to the third straight Super Bowl loss for them, which would have been heartbreaking. And I'll talk about Deflategate in a second, but the fact that they pulled that interception off was amazing. It was such a great story on top of everything that's happened. And one of the things that was big was they were criticizing Coach Pete Carroll for calling the throw, saying, "Oh, even Chris Collinsworth." But Chris Collinsworth's an idiot. One of the commentators is like, "I can't believe he made that throw. I just can't believe it." And he was just going on and on about it. He's like, "Oh my." And when he made his rationale in front of the reporter, it actually made a lot of sense why he threw it, why he called the throw. And it was because it was a first down, and they had one timeout. So if they had run it and they got stopped, they would have had to take the timeout, in which case they would not have been able to call another timeout. So if they ran it again and got stopped, they would be screwed. So they threw it on first down to gun for the end zone. If it misses, the clock stops. And so they still have their timeout. He said they were going to run it on second and third down and fourth down, which makes sense. But it was ultimately a good decision, but it didn't pay off because got intercepted because it was a really good defensive play. And so it really turned out wonderful. And then now I have to talk about Deflategate.
Honestly, I felt like this was probably one of the better played Super Bowls in recent years.
Absolutely. And not just as a bias. Even if the Seahawks had won, I would have thought it was a really good Super Bowl, regardless.
But yeah, it was a very well played Super Bowl. But okay, back to what you were saying.
Now I'll get to Deflategate a little bit. I'm not going to touch too much on it because most of you are probably sick of hearing it by now. But I'm going to just briefly mention what I think about it. I said very briefly last time I thought it was bullshit. I really do still think that way, and how it would have affected the Super Bowl. if the Seahawks had won, I would have blamed Deflategate for causing such a mental setback that they lost that game. And honestly, I feel like if Deflategate had not happened, they could have possibly beaten the Seahawks by more. But the main thing with Deflategate was there was no proof. There still isn't any proof that the Patriots did that, at least deliberately. And they put the Brady family especially through a lot of shit. To the point where Tom Brady's sister was crying just after the Super Bowl. Not in tears of joy, but in tears of you can't do this to my brother. You can't do it to him. It's going to tear him apart. That's literally what she was saying to this reporter. And just the overreaction, just because, yeah, they got caught cheating for Spygate, which is why they call it Deflategate. It's a reference to Spygate, which is a cheating. They were cheating about a decade ago. They were caught and all that shit, but really, in my opinion, they didn't do it on purpose. I think the refs had something to do with it, also not on purpose. And the weather might have affected it. There were so many different things that could have affected it, but overall, it definitely affected the Super Bowl. But I'm so glad that it didn't cause the Patriots to lose. That, to me, would have been a heartbreaker as well. So yeah, all's well that ends well.
Yep. Of course, you can't talk about the Super Bowl without giving your thoughts on the halftime show.
The halftime show, I'm not a fan of Katy Perry, but that Tiger was fucking awesome.
Of course. I am a fan of Katy Perry, so I liked it. And there's tons of internet jokes and memes about the various points of the show. Which people were disappointed because I guess they were expecting, and being a female modern artist, that she was going to be very overly sexualized performance. But the thing is that people have to realize that it's a family-friendly show, and the halftime show has to reflect that. I mean, did they forget? Did they seriously forget the wardrobe malfunction that caused a many years worth of Super Bowl halftime performances to be done by oldies, bands, and performers because of it? And they were all male.
Right.
For a while. So the fact that until, I think, was it a year or two ago when they had Madonna?
Maybe. I know last year was Beyonce, so.
Yeah. So the fact of the matter is that they have just now, in recent years, started incorporating more modern artists and female artists. So, and so it just only is right that that these people don't want to fuck it up again. And, not that, the oldies bands and singers were bad. I'm just saying is that, to appeal to a modern audience, you got to have more modern performers.
Yeah, put Metallica on there. That would have been amazing. But fucking put Grand Rodeo on there. Fuck it.
Metallica's too hardcore.
Put Grand Rodeo on there.
Of course, what I wasn't expecting was friggin' what was it? What's her name? The black chick. I can't remember her name. Her name's slipping me right now.
I can't remember.
But yeah, I totally wasn't expecting her. Which was
Oh yeah, and then Katy Perry flying around during the fireworks. That was pretty cool too.
Oh, that was cool. And I kind of figured that they were going to finish off with
that
firework.
Was kind of obvious.
Yeah. But yeah, so I felt it was an over and out performance. Now, the last thing that we have to talk about before we move on from the Super Bowl is commercials. Alright, we're going to separate it into two main categories. One, is the regular commercials, and 2 are the movie trailer commercials. Because you kind of sort of have to talk about them separately, I feel. So first, we're going to talk about the movie trailer commercials. What were some of your favorite?
Movies?
And we got disconnected.
No, it's just breaking up is all.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Movie trailers, did you say first?
Yeah, movie trailer. Well, what were some of the movie trailers that you really liked?
I actually don't have any.
What? You didn't like any of the movie trailers?
Which movies off the top of your head can you name?
Jurassic Park or Jurassic World?
Okay.
Did you not see that one?
I don't know. I don't remember that one.
What?
Do you know when that played?
That one. That played early. I think during the first quarter.
I might have seen. Yeah, I probably saw it. That would probably be the best one. Then I don't know.
It was a great trailer because it showed you more, and which is obviously better, and it showed you a little more bits and pieces of the dinosaur, the main dinosaur, but we still don't know. But the one thing that honestly is most cool, I liked the most, was the fact that it teased, like it showed you that there is a increased it just presents a plot. What they showed you presents a possible plot point that has never been done before in the previous Jurassic Park. Could either make it a worse Jurassic Park movie or an even greater Jurassic Park movie, and that is the fact that now, as we all remember, back when the first Jurassic World trailer premiered, we saw one scene where Chris Pratt is riding in the jungle on a motorcycle with raptors around him. And everyone had their theories, with the one being that, maybe those raptors are with him, almost like, his trained dogs. And this trailer from the Superbowl only basically only fed that theory even greater, because they show you a scene of him in the raptor pen, and then they go to attack him, and then he just he says, no, stop. He tells them to stop, and they listen. There's a possibility that Chris Pratt is going to be going up against this dinosaur with his own set of dinosaurs. Because in the trailer, they basically show you how it seems like this dinosaur who broke out this but is hunting the other dinosaurs for sport. And so, it seems like he has to ban, and this dinosaur is causing chaos and causes a lot of the other dinosaurs to go basically on a rampage. But it also seems that there's going to be some that are still going to be listening to Chris Pratt and are going to be helping him in one way or another, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I somehow missed that.
Still there? Yeah. So, and then let's see, what was another noteworthy? Some of the other ones that people were looking forward to was the Fast and Furious 7. A lot of people were looking forward to that.
One.
It was all right. I'm not.
Saw that one.
That one, I'm not really. The what?
I saw. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I know I saw. It was Fast Furious 7. We get disconnected. Yeah. We back? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so.
What was the last thing you said?
The last thing I said was I saw Fast Furious 7. That was the one I know I saw. In my defense, Sunday was also the height of my cold, so I probably missed quite a few of those trailers.
You're cold?
Yeah. So what were some of the others?
It's still
Is
choppy.
Shit. Alright.
Alright.
Is it okay now?
Anyway, so the it's a little better. So let's see, what were some other movie trailers? I mean, there was a bunch of other ones that were advertising for. There was that stupid looking SpongeBob movie, and that chick flick, or we'll just call it chick flick for now. 50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Smut. I remember that one.
Yes, exactly that. And then another one that I was interested in was they showed the trailer for Ted 2.
Oh yeah, I remember that. See, now you're saying them. Oh, I remember seeing them. Ted 2. That looked funny as fuck.
Yeah, of course. How can you not remember that? He's like, oh, we need a. Well, not only. I mean, I saw they prior to this they showed they had a trailer, but this was the one to show the trailer was to show you Tom Brady's cameo, which is them attempting to get his sperm's kid.
That was hilarious.
For Ted, which is hilarious. Especially when they pull the covers off and it's like that golden light, like they just found like some lost treasure of some like that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was the best one. That was the best movie trailer there.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, noticeably so. Pretty much all of the superhero movies were pretty much not seen. Not a single, superhero movie was advertised.
Yeah.
So, which is, interesting, to say the least. So it's definitely. I mean, it was, I guess, an interesting move to. Oh, another one that was advertised that had a Super Bowl TV spot was the Despicable Me spinoff Minions, which didn't really showcase anything other than the Minions in a scene that's constructed solely for the Super Bowl commercial. Right. And then you have, let me see. I mean, the majority of the ones were just pretty much not really that interesting, which is probably why I'm having trouble remembering them all. But for the most part, those were, the top. I guess they consider them notable because they're actually notable enough to be remembered. I mean, it's just, that's just. In terms of movie trailers, there wasn't really any, despite the ones we mentioned, though, in terms of of the movie trailers, it wasn't actually, like, mind-blowing. Like, there wasn't any mind-blowing trailers. I mean, the Jurassic Park one was good. But other than that, there wasn't really any, actually mind-blowing trailers. Unless there's one that you've suddenly remembered.
Ted 2 was the best for me.
But let's see. Yeah, that's. Just trying to think. Oh yeah. Now I remember another one that I wasn't personally looking forward to, but I know there was a lot of people looking forward to was the Pitch Perfect 2 Super Bowl trailer.
Oh.
And I know. I mean, the another one was that Kingsman movie with Colin Firth, I think it is,
Hmm? Oh.
and that other Disney's live action project for the year, Tomorrowland.
Oh, yeah. That looks okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was still doing what it was supposed to do, and it
Hmm.
teased, so we don't know exactly enough about the story to really get super
Right.
interested in it. But that's pretty much sums up the movie
Hmm.
trailers. Now for the regular, you know, Super Bowl commercials. What were some ones that stood out for
Well,
you,
I think I think
if
this
any?
year they were subpar compared to all the
Oh
others.
yeah.
But
Oh yes. Very
for me,
subpar.
the best was Liam Neeson and Clash of Clans. That was amazing.
Oh god, that was. But I have another one that's just almost as good. If it's they're almost as good. If they aren't, if it's either as good or almost as good, and that is the the Brady Bunch Snickers
That was
commercial.
great too.
You have friggin' Steve Buscemi and like the guy from
Robert
Machete.
Rodriguez, I think.
Just like it's just
Mhm.
hilarious. Like I'm still
That
laughing
was
about
really
that.
good.
Uh,
I like the Kim
um,
Kardashian one. That was pretty good.
that was like what? And what was up with those stupid commercials? Like um, those insurance company, those that car was the insurance commercials about I'm similar to the similar but not like. I mean that was weird, and it was mildly entertaining when they did the Lindsay
Oh
Lohan
yeah.
one, but and surprisingly there wasn't a big like they had the one what was it, the Budweiser commercial with a puppy
Yeah.
was kind of nice, but other than that there wasn't really a huge showing from the beer companies, which is
There were a
surprising.
couple they just weren't as good as they normally are.
And there was only one
I
Doritos
think there was
commercial, and it wasn't. That was
one. I
one.
thought there was two.
I only I only remember the one about the guy, the guy on the plane, and he comes up with tries to come up with all these things so that way he doesn't have to sit next to somebody, and he sees this really hot chick, and he's like, oh, here I got Doritos. You want to sit here? And she's holding a baby.
Pretty sure there was another one. There was a guy and I can't remember what it was about though. I think I vaguely remember that there was another one and they spaced out the two of them during the game. Like they spaced it out like one in the beginning and one near the end. I can't remember what it was though.
Well, that's the problem, though. If it was another one, it wasn't memorable enough
I
to be
remember
remembered.
laughing at it though. The Doritos commercials were pretty funny this year though.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah. Unfortunately, the Super Bowl commercials were very forgettable
Yeah,
this
I
year.
was very disappointed. Like I thought like maybe it's just me, like maybe it's just me because I'm sick. And then I looked and a lot of people were
Having
disappointed too.
Yep. So, needless to say, it was a very we had a good game, some decent movie trailers, and a pretty decent halftime show. But in terms of regular old Super Bowl commercials, it was very
Yeah.
subpar. I mean, the movie trailers were pretty subpar, but at least they had some, a decent amount of memorable ones, and ones and that they really stood out. But other than the first two Super Bowl commercials we stated, and the one Budweiser commercial with the puppy, none of the other ones are really super standoutish to
Hmm.
me, at least. Like they even had to. Now I remember, but I do know, however, that we are there was one less commercial than there was supposed to be because of they couldn't show this year's GoDaddy commercial.
Was it cut?
Yeah, and because apparently, um, due to animal rights activists,
PETA.
because it involved like a puppy going through all these hardships to try and, I guess the whole point was for him to get his, I guess, website or something. And the animal rights activists, complain because, oh, they're harming an innocent animal.
Oh boy. There's always at least one cut Super Bowl commercial every year, though, so it evens out. The other GoDaddy commercial was okay. The Brett Favre one.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I guess they decided to go away from the whole, sexy model that, supposedly tease, if you go onto the website to see the whole commercial, you might see him naked, but nope, they're not actually.
You might see Danica Patrick not driving and being naked.
Yeah, so that's pretty much covers the Super Bowl as a whole. Other than the final word I have to say is, yes, it's unfortunate that the Seahawks didn't get there. For you Seahawk fans, it's disappointing that they didn't get to win the Super Bowl and they didn't get to win a second one in a row. But hey, look on the bright side. You're Super Bowl champions in Africa.
Damn.
Well, I mean, that's the truth. Where do you think they send all that pre-made Super Bowl champion memorabilia
I know.
to?
That's a big meme on the
internet for every year. Every year. Anyway, so on to what I did in terms of other media. Okay. In terms of anime, I'm still in my DBZ rewatch. The last episode I watched was Boo just absorbed Mystic Gohan. So there's a good chance I'll probably be done by next podcast, most likely. Depending on, of course, that's also depending on how busy I get with my writing. If I get a lot of writing done, I might not get as much watching done, which is fine with me because I want to get more writing done. Anyway, yes, I did, and I did get some writing done. In terms of movies, there wasn't really anything notable I watched this week, except, like I was saying, Strider before the podcast. I watched earlier today, I watched Armageddon today, and was just thinking how funny it was. How if only this was an anime, there'd be just so many characters who would just brush it off like it was nothing. That asteroid like it was nothing. In terms of games, I'm still doing my One Piece run of Omega Ruby, but I was on YouTube. I was on YouTube one day this week, and through all the various videos I've watched in the what to watch suggestions section, now normally I don't usually go watch a lot of times. Sometimes I'll occasionally get video suggestions for, hey, watch this challenge run of this Pokemon game or that Pokemon game or whatnot, and I don't know why, but for some reason I decided to click on this one. It was a wedlock run of the hacked Heart Gold and Soul Silver, otherwise known as Sacred Gold and Storm Silver. I don't know why, but I just thought like, hey, why not? I'll give it a try. Because I'm like, most of the time when I see these challenge runs suggested on YouTube, it's always Nuzlocke. Right. So I guess I was just curious to see, well, what's wedlock? And I don't know, have you ever heard of the wedlock challenge?
Vaguely, but I don't know what it's about.
Well, basically, it just tacks on. It's just a modified version. It's basically Nuzlocke with two particular rules added on. Because I know Nuzlocke has a core set of rules, and then there's other rules that people tend to add on. But a wedlock is basically these two specific rules, and that is, one, you can't all your Pokemon the 6 Pokemon on your team must be paired male and female. So 3 pairs of 2. Okay. and you aren't allowed to put any Pokemon. You can't put any Pokemon in your PC except for the only you're not allowed to put any Pokemon in your PC. You're only allowed to take them out. With the only exception to the rule is putting any Pokemon in there that you catch along the way that automatically will get sent there, and for those people who permanently box their Pokemon that die in a Nuzlocke as opposed to releasing them. So, and what makes it even more entertaining is that it's 2 people are doing this, and it's this one guy's channel, but the other person doing the wedlock with him is his girlfriend, his nerd girlfriend. So like the back and forth banter is actually pretty funny between the two, because it's just the things they say to each other, and you're like, wait a minute, how they're boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're saying this kind of shit to each other. This is what we call this is true relationship goals here. Not that stupid, this stupid bullshit that normal people like. This is what nerds aspire to have in a relationship. But what makes it interesting is that it's a hacked version of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So, it's funny, cause to see the various Pokemon they catch, that they encounter, and some of the difficult, like some of the trainers are harder, whether their levels are slightly harder, or they have more Pokemon, or different Pokemon, and stuff like that. Like, what was it? They only have like 6 parts up so far, because they only started it recently. But they had in the next episode they're going to do the second gym, but in the first gym, the gym leader had 6 Pokemon, as opposed to, what was it, 2 in the original game?
Who?
Faulkner
had, just...
Wasn't it like a Pidgey, and then like a what was it, like a Pidgeotto or something, like level 14
just
or something?
Not a Pidgey. What the hell's the rooster? Spearow and a level 9 Pidgeotto.
Yeah, well, it was like he had like 6 Pokemon, and I mean they were all flying, but they were all very like flying types that you couldn't get normally in a normal game, which was funny. Like, and he had and 3 of them were level 15, including his Pidgeotto, and they were all in this particular mod for the games, Storm Silver and Sacred Gold. The gym leader's Pokemon are like competition Pokemon, like high EVs and like competition movesets. So to make it that much more challenging. And or how about the funny fact that when they did the Bellsprout Tower, almost all the Pokemon that the trainers had weren't Bellsprout, which made it even funnier. Like, you had freaking like Elekid's and Mareeps and like other. It's fun to watch. Yeah, it was, and it's also interesting. I just it was something different. Because like I said, I was never really interested in the Nuzlocks, because they seem kind of even though they have the added on challenge rules, they just seemed the idea seems it's not that entertaining, and it's like hit or miss when it comes to the various people on YouTube, whether or not they are actually good at being YouTube personalities.
Right. Do you remember I was going to do a Nuzlocke originally for Fire Red? I tried.
No. You would have, with your luck, you would have game over like 20 times.
I'll tell you this real quick. I actually was recording part 1 of the Nuzlocke, and I think we were streaming. I was streaming, in fact, and I had Big M with me, and we were kind of doing dual commentary, and my battery ran out, and I forgot to plug in my charger, And I said, fuck it. I'm not doing it. Nobody watched. I'm like, I'm just going to do a normal run. And I had pretty bad luck on just that part 1, so...
Yeah, but it was just interesting because what makes this more interesting than a normal Nuzlocke is A, it's a hacked game, so it has different, Pokemon levels and different almost the randomness of the Pokemon appearing is almost that of like a randomized hack, and just the fact that the two people doing this wedlock actually are like actually entertaining instead of just boring old like a lot of the Nuzlockers are. Because it's I don't know, but it was something something different that I never really experienced before. So, and it was definitely interesting. So, I'll be following that as they do that. And let's see, in terms of gaming, there isn't really anything else. In terms of and I think that's just about it. I covered the gaming, I covered movies, and in terms of we talked about the Super Bowl. There wasn't really anything besides my weekly TV shows that I watched that was noteworthy.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the only other thing was that I was hanging out with our mutual friend Link, and we were playing some Hyrule Warriors again, and that was fun. What?
I'm sorry.
What's up with Hyrule? What's up with you and Hyrule Warriors?
I'm just making Link grunts in the background here, since you said Link.
And of course, our mutual friend Link was very happy because we got to the point in the game where we could start using Ganondorf as a character. And Ganondorf gets his twin swords.
Nice.
So, but anyway, so it was fun, so anyway, so I think that's just about it. Like I said, I already said I got some writing done, and so I think it's about time we move on to the closing.
Yep.